Welcome to the course on data communication and networking, week 8, session 1. In this course, we will discuss on transmission media, especially guided media. There are two types of media, guided media and unguided media. In this session, we will discuss on guided media. So transmission media are actually located below the physical layer. So if you look at the OSI or TCP model, so there are layers, and then the cables comes over here, which provides connectivity between two machines, cables or connectors. So these cable and connectors are known as transmission media. They are known as transmission media. So that's why it comes bottom to this physical layer. This is physical layer. It comes after this physical layer. It's available to bottom this physical layer. So this area related to the transmission media. So as shown in the diagram, this is physical layer, transmission medium. Do not go by this diagram. This may be the cable or it may be the air. It is written over here. And at receiver side, the physical layer will receives those transmitted signals. Transmission medium can be broadly defined anything that can carry information from source to destination, maybe using guided media or unguided media. The wireless communication medium, which is known as unguided media, started in 1895, and Marconi devised a method to send telegraph type message over Atlantic Ocean. There are two types of transmission media, or it is classified into two, guided media and unguided media. Today's session we will focus on the guided media only. There are three types of guided media: twisted pair, coaxial cable and fiber optic cable. In twisted pair, before going on twisted pair, let's conclude the session of previous topic, that's baseband and broadband transmission, and whether it is applicable over here or not. So baseband and broadband. In baseband transmission, whole bandwidth is available, complete bandwidth is available. Over here, bandwidth is available, but it is used for multiplexing various signals. So in baseband transmission, this is single receiver and transmitter. The cable is connected over here, and whole bandwidth is available for transmission, that is known as baseband. In multiplex, multiple stations are available. They need to multiplex, their signals need to be multiplexed and sent over the network, and it is received by another demultiplexer. This is multiplexer and demultiplexer. So over here, this is broadband signal where the signals are multiplex. So this is the difference between baseband and broadband. Now baseband, this is for wireline communication. It's easy to differentiate because there is a dedicated line. For the wireless communication, we divide the number of as per the number of regions. If these are the two stations in the single region, they can use a baseband, means whole spectrum they can use. But in the same region, if the multiple stations or if number of stations are get increased and they want to perform simultaneous conversation, so that will not sufficient. So same frequency cannot be used over here. This pair has to use frequency F1, this pair has to use frequency F2, this pair has to use frequency F3. So in wireless communication, if we go with the baseband, we have to stick with the frequency, and if in case of wireline communication, we have to stick with the cables. So if we require multiple conversations among multiple users, we require different wires or different cables. So that theoretically that is known as channel. This is first channel, this is second channel. In case of wireless communication, this F1 acts as the first channel, this is second channel, this is third channel. So theoretically, either wireline communication or wireless communication, the channel is theoretical term used for to differentiate among multiple conversations. So that is the introduction of baseband and broadband signals. In broadband, it is yet multiplex over here. Let's start with twisted pair cable. There are two types of twisted pair cable available in the market. First one is UTP, another one is STP. UTP stands for unshielded twisted pair. Why it is unshielded twisted pair? We'll see when we look at STP. STP stands for shielded twisted pair. So now the name itself, it's a shielded. So shield is available to this twist. So that is metal shield is available. That's why it is known as shielded twisted pair. Why the twisted pair? These two wires are twisted. These two pairs are twisted. That's why it is known as shielded twisted pair. So both twisted pair is common in both the thing, but over here this is unshielded. There is no shield available over here. These cables are used in IBM only, and these use are in commercial markets. This is actual diagram or actual the cables. These are the pairs. These are the pairs, twisted pairs. This is insulating plastic foil material which insulates or it properly arranges this pair into this wire. And this is shielded twisted pair. We can see this, there is a shield over here, metallic shield over here, and these are the cables or twisted pair cables inside this metallic foil. There is one more diagram of shielded twisted pair where each pair twisted pair is having a shield, and then they are having outer shield. This is known as cable shield, and this is known as pair shield, and this is known as outer shield. So manufacturer or standard organization committee EIA has defined the category of UTP cable. So categories are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5E, 6 and 7. The currently 6 is available in the market. The 7th, it is a shielded twisted pair that is manufactured by IBM, but it is having advantage. It supports a higher amount of data rate. That's why it is used in some area where we require 600 Mbps as a data rate. So this first category 1, normally it is known as Cat 1. Category 1, unshielded twisted pair cable, it is used in telephone. Category 2, which is known as Cat 2, it is also used in telephone communication, majorly for T1 lines for the multiplexing. Cat 3, Cat 4, they were used in LAN. This is legacy Ethernet, 10 Mbps, it is known as legacy Ethernet. And there is other flavor of local network is a tokening network that is operated over 20 Mbps. To develop tokening networks, the Cat 4 category cable was used. Cat 5 category cable, that's available with 24 gauge. 24 gauge, that's the diameter of cable, and it can support the data rate up to 100 Mbps. So Cat 5 category onwards, that's successfully implemented for LAN. Then Cat 5e came into market, that includes extra features to minimize the crosstalk and electromagnetic interference, just like plastic material available within cable. So that is supports 125 Mbps. Cat 6 category cable supports 200 Mbps, and Cat 7 category cable supports 600 Mbps. Very important feature of all those cables, that's we should differentiate all those cables using this performance, not by their cables and look that how it looks. This graph represents the frequency versus attenuation. This is graph with this measurement is taken per 1 kilometer. So the parameter is common. The scientists took the cable same length but with different gauge: 26 gauge, 24 gauge, 22 gauge and 18 gauge. The distance is 1 kilometer. The length of cable is 1 kilometer same, and they gradually increase the frequency in each of these cable. That's 18 gauge cable, 22 gauge cable, 24 gauge cable, 26 gauge cable. What they found for 18 gauge cable, this is for if they pass frequency equal to 1, the attenuation is below 2 decibel per kilometer. Then it gets increased, frequency is 10, it's a slightly more than 2. If it is 100, it's a nearer to 2, but if it is 1000, it's a nearer to 8 or it's a nearer to 10. So if we divide this graph into these three part, we can differentiate part 1, part 2 and part 3. So if you look at part 1, part 2 and part 3, for the lower frequency, the attenuation loss, attenuation dB per kilometer is very low. If we jump from one frequency to other frequency, this is part 1. But in part 2, there is a sharp change, not sharp change, it's a slow change in attenuation. But if we go beyond 100 Mbps or 100 kilohertz, then attenuation increases exponentially. So if we increase the frequency beyond 100 kilohertz, their attenuation is higher, but in case of low frequency, attenuation is low. Next category of cable is coaxial cable. In coaxial cable, this is a diagram of coaxial cable. How is it looks like, or what are the components of coaxial cable? This is inner conductor, that's mostly made of copper. Then there is a plastic insulator. Then it's outer conductor or metallic foil. And then again insulator. Then it's a plastic cover available. This is actual diagram of cable. This is inner conductor. This is insulator. This is outer seal. And there is absence of insulator. Instead of that, they have a plastic cover. Coaxial cable is also having a standards. So these are 3 standards: RJ59, RJ58 and RJ11. RJ11 is used in telephone communication. It was used in telephone communication, but nowadays it is not used in telephone communication. There are 2 types of cable you can see over here: thin coax and thick coax. And one more cable, RJ49 category, that is using cable TV only. So in thin coax, the copper conductor will have a thin in nature, and thick coax, the copper conductor will have thick in nature. The difference is thin Ethernet will support lower Mbps and thick Ethernet supports higher than this thin Ethernet. These are the connectors for coaxial cable, that is known as BNC connector. And this is real picture of the connectors. BNC connector, this is BNC connector, and this is T of BNC connector, where this goes to computer, this goes to inline and outline. So the NIC cards was available in older days, in the beginning of development of Ethernet. So that is connected, that is known as BNC Ethernet card, that supports 10 Mbps speed only. The same way coaxial cable performance, we can see that if frequency gets higher, then attenuation goes high. Attenuation goes high. So if we increase the frequency or the speed beyond certain limit, we will have a higher attenuation. So this is a problem. This is a problem that we cannot go beyond certain frequency or certain data rate, because attenuation will increase exponentially. The third type of guided media is a fiber optic cable. Fiber optic cable is made of glass or plastic, and it transmits signals in the form of light. Light travels in a straight line. This is very good property of light or any ray, that it travels in a straight line as long it is moving through single uniform substance. But if it changes substance or there is no uniformity, then ray changes its direction. So this is the pictorial diagram how the ray gets changed. This is known as incidence angle, and this incidence angle equal to if it is critical angle. So if it is critical angle, then it goes in a straight direction or horizontally. So this is material 1 and this is material 2. Material 1 is less dense, material 2 is more dense, and if the rays goes from more dense to less dense and with angle equal to I, which is less than critical angle, then it gets refracted in the sense, so I gets increased over here. This is not I, but if I consider I dash, so I dash will greater than I. Then slightly if increase the critical angle, then it goes away from this central x and it goes and it converts or it goes in a straight direction, which is the intersection point of this material m1 and m2, and it's a border of m1 and m2. And if we increase this angle, then it gets reflected back into the same more dense substance. So this is I greater than critical angle, I equal to critical angle, and I less than critical angle. Means critical angle is angle. If we go beyond the critical angle, or if our incidence angle is greater than critical angle, the light rays get reflected. Otherwise, lights get refracted. So by looking at this property of reflection, the fiber optic cables is made, and it uses this property of this rays to transmit light signals over core material. So how it gets transmitted? This is more dense material, this is less dense material. Normally the glass is used over here. This is glass material, and this is any other material which is less dense than glass material. And you can see over here, the sender transmits signals or ray at some angle that is known as more than critical angle, and because of that property, the light travels inside core and it is received by receiver. So the glass material is known as core, and outer material which has less density, it is known as cladding. There are various propagation modes in fiber optic cables, not limited to multi-mode and single mode, but as part of this course there are two modes: multi-mode, single mode. In multi-mode there is a step index and graded index. So this is illustration of how multi-mode and single mode, what exactly mean by multi-mode and single mode. This is multi-mode step index and graded index. The multi-mode, we can see we can pass multiple signals over fiber optic wires. So in this wire there are three signals are passed simultaneously. In case of graded index, the same property of multi-mode, where we can pass multiple signals, and single mode we can pass only single rays of the cable that travels in a straight direction, horizontal direction, and it received at receiver side. Step index, why is it step index? In step index, the density of this material is uniform from the core part to the border of this core part. The density remains uniform. That's why when the signal strikes to the border of two substance, core and clad, then it changes its direction abruptly means instantaneously, and that causes attenuation. So in this case attenuation will be high. Attenuation means loss of energy. But in this multi-mode fiber, this will have a higher density, then lower density, lower density, and this density or the cladding densities will be very lower than such a way that there will not be sharp or change of reflection, but along inside of core it starts moving, or it's decides its path in terms of waves. So because of this, the core is made of different density, where the central part is having high density, outer part will have a lower density. So this part will have a lower density, this part will have a higher density, and that's why these beams will travel as like a wave, and because it does not change its direction abruptly, so attenuation will be very low. So this signal, this multi-mode step index will have a higher attenuation, multi-mode graded index will have a lower attenuation. In single mode fiber, the straight line light passes as a straight line in horizontal direction, so we can pass only one signal at a time. Various fiber sizes available. The cladding portion means outer portion remains same, 125 micrometer, but the core portion is of 50 micrometer in multi-mode graded index, 62.5 in multi-mode graded index, 100 micrometer in multi-mode graded index, and 7.0 in single mode. So we can say it's a single mode fiber optic cable. Is the core is having very lighter, means it occupies less space. This is cable compositions or cable component of fiber. The inside is core and the outer one is cladding, and then there is a plastic buffer is available, and heavy metallic foil which is having very good strength to support this cable. The cable should not be bent beyond certain angle. That's why the metal is having a higher strength. Connectors, there are not only limited to SC and SC connector, there are various other connectors are available. Normally these SC connectors are rectangle, ST connectors are in round. These are various LC, SC, ST, FC connectors available in the market. Performance, if we pass signals with a lower wavelength, then loss is high, and if we increase the wavelength, loss will be low. This is very good property of fiber optic or optical signals, that if we increase the wavelength, then it decreases the loss. But if we decrease this wavelength, if we increase the wavelength, the loss gets decreased. But if we have a less wavelength or lower wavelength, then loss will be very high. Advantages of optical fiber cable: we can support higher bandwidth. It supports up to 1.6 terabytes communication with SC connectors or single mode index cables. Less signal attenuation because there is no resistance of cable available over here, but yes, there will be attenuation, but it's a very low attenuation. Immunity to electromagnetic interference, because it does not affect, or it will not have effect of electromagnetic interference, as it is optical or light rays are used for transmission. Resistance to corrosive, there is no copper conductor, so it's a resistance to corrosive. Glass material is used. Lightweight, because the diameter is very low, that's why it is very lightweight than the copper conductor. Greater immunity to tapping, means it's not easy to connect these two fiber optic cables unless we have a specialized device. So that is not easy for tapping of fiber optic cables. Disadvantage: installation and maintenance. Very specialized device is required for installation and maintenance. Another disadvantage: unidirectional light propagation may cause problems, and we cannot identify problem, and definitely the cost is high. So till so far we have discussed about guided media. In guided media there are three types of cable: twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and fiber optic. So in guided media there is a cable available which guides either optical signal or electrical signals on this direction you must travel. So that is known as guided media. Thank you for watching this video.